Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to take a close look at the GamePad S10, the Controller GamePad Digital Game Player. In China there are so many of these wicked devices and this was one of them that I just needed to pick up. It's the Eichler birthday with the package from China. So let's go. So inside we're going to get a plug and play device that we can play all of our retro games with, or that is what they are basically saying. So first of all, what you can have with different configurations, that this is the one having an extra controller. And I can tell you the controller, it's kind of cute but also kind of horrible at the same time. Oh, all the plastic. Oh, plastic. So the configuration is 4-button input and this thing is absolutely cheap. You can even break it. Okay. Next up we're going to get the cable, and with this particular cable we have the TV out functionality. So yeah, if this thing doesn't even work, we can plug it in and we can use the device as a main system and have the option to play retro games on your television. It comes with the BL5C battery, this old school Nokia battery by the way. It even has the original colors. And in here we're having the freaking device. And this is a kind of interesting configuration, having a PlayStation 2 controller-ish look-alike with a display attached to it. We have seen it before. I think it was a PlayStation 5 controller and it did play all kinds of retro games. But I'm guessing this thing can only play some 8-bit. So first of all, when you're looking at the D-pad, oh man, I can tell you there is even some differences with the resistance of the membranes underneath. And for example, these two over here are having a completely different resistance than the other ones. Nevertheless, we're having A, B, X, Y, and this is really cheap because if you're going to press one single button, the other ones start moving. Select start, reset, and the volume. That's it, a very tiny display. We can open this compartment up and here we can put in a battery. So let's do that first and let's boot up this bad boy and let's see what we're actually having inside, what kind of games, because this is always the question. Alright, so this thing fits in very nicely. Let's click it back in. The overall construction is not bad at all. A micro USB for charging and data transfer. Unfortunately, that is nothing you can do. You cannot add games. We're having the TV out function over here that we're going to try out later on. Ooh, we have the Christmas edition. Yeah. Let me know if you know the song. Which game does it belong to? I must give them some extra kudos. The display that is inside this thing is not the worst one I've seen. It's not an IPS panel. We cannot really expect it for the money. You can buy these devices on Temu, AliExpress, even on Amazon sometimes. In here we're going to have a mix of 520 games, but if you're going to scroll through it, you will eventually see a lot of double games. There is no alphabetic order. That's always like a little bit of a problem with these things. But besides having a lot of double games, there are a couple of naughty games on here. We're also having the weird things like the UFO race. We can find it mostly on those Famicom things, like Dendy consoles that they released with a couple of games built in. I must say the volume is quite loud. There are only a couple of settings, 3 of them total. But there is not a lot of interesting things when it comes to later on. Let's check out the Link. You would think it's going to be Link, but that's nothing to do with Link. This is just a card game where you're moving a cursor. And that's actually what is a lot of happening with this. The unfortunate thing is with this freaking device, and that is I think the biggest bummer, that we have, oh man, we always are going to get this freaking annoying menu. Every single time you need to choose your language. But this thing is also filled with a lot of wicked homebrew games with a lot of different, let's say, configurations. Oh man, that's so... Oh, can you please skip this shit? Oh man, oh my ears are bleeding! It's kind of funny, if you're going to put it on the loudest setting, it completely sounds rubbish. Okay, so... what are the turbo buttons? Oh, there we go. So the top ones are the turbo buttons. That explains why I had this weird thing going on. Oh. And of course there is a lot of screen tearing going on. That's the reason I always try to play this adventure game. There we go. That was going to call some skills, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so much better. Absolutely. Okay, let's choose the tennis game. Which button do we need to freaking press? Oh, there we go. But the games on here seem to be running just fine. Oh yeah, that was absolutely in. I completely messed that part up. Oh yeah. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Come on, bring it on, bring it on. Bring it on, bring it on. Pop, 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 pop. It's official. I suck. Okay, next up, let's check the Contra game. Let's remove the screen protector. Oh, I'm always forgetting that. And yeah, when you're going to be playing this, you can shoot in all kinds of directions without any problem. With this thing, feels quite cheap, the D-pad. I must say that I'm quite surprised how actually good it is. Spread shot? Nope, no spread shot. No, I'm surprised by it. Seriously, I'm really surprised by it, how good this plays. But again, it's the same craziness. It also resets every single time. The volume control, quite annoying. Was a particular game I wanted to check out. Oh, there we go. We have the Turtles #1. But all the games that can be launched from here work fine. There's no quick load, quick save where you're pressing select or start whatsoever. There's always a little bit of a bummer with these devices, because nowadays we have an SF2000 from Datafrog or different kind of brands that can also play NES without any problem and have a lot of cool features like quick load, quick save. So where this thing looks kind of cool and very comfortable, by the way, to play, because that is one thing I don't need to forget mentioning. The form factor of the controller is great. I love this. It's very comfortable. There is no shoulder buttons whatsoever. And the audio doesn't really go very loud, but it sounds great, man. Here it goes. Oh yeah, the chicken turtle song. Of course, one of the games I needed to boot up is the Mortal Kombat 4. This is the most weirdest shenanigan game I have ever seen in my freaking life. With Mortal Kombat 4, that makes no sense. The characters, they say, for example here, Night Wolf, but it shows Shao Kahn. It's absolutely... Oh, it seems like I can even do a move with this. It's the first time in my life I can do a move with this freaking game. Oh, this is so bad. You know, it's so funny that it's actually... Because it's so bad. You know, that kind of games... I'm still very, let's say, overall, like, stunned by the display in this thing, because it's not really bad at all. But also, you can find all kinds of cool games with this particular device, and that is one thing I find pretty damn cool. Oh man, Spartanix is one of those games that I love to play nowadays. And including the turbo buttons makes this game so much easier. And also here we're noticing that the D-pad is very responsive. Especially when you're going into a certain part of the game. Where it goes, there we go, there we go. That's going to kick everybody in the face. There we go, the knife throwing guy. Completely like jump into his knife. Doesn't matter. The thing is, it works pretty damn great when it comes to overall emulation performance, the D-pad and the buttons. But if you want to plug this thing into your television, it's a very cool way to play. You can just use a second controller or this piece of plastic that you can call a controller as a second player. And you can just bring this thing with you and play your old school Famicom or 8-bit games on the go. And the quality itself, it's quite nice for a cheap cable and a very cheap device, or a handheld in this case. So the thing that you need to take in note is that we're having a lot of interference if you're going to be wiggling around with it. You can see even the display over here is mixing or getting signal from, you know, that the cables will be pulled out like this. It's absolutely a lot of shenanigans, but it's pretty damn cool that we have an option to just plug it in and actually play. Even in the game, and we can just play. The only thing I do notice, when I'm actually going to play, the picture of the figure itself or the character itself, it's completely washed out. It's not the way how you actually want to play. So that part works great. Another thing I wanted to check out, what happens if you're going to be plugging in this micro USB cable. Nothing seems to be working, so it's actually going to be functioning like a second controller. One of the games that can actually play together is of course Contra. One of the things they implemented a multi-game card in this. It's kind of funny, to be honest. Next up, let's choose the second player and let's see if this thing works out of the box. that we can actually use this. Here we go. And that works just fine. Another thing I want to be checking out, how does the control actually play. I'm quite surprised, even due to the weird format. The D-pad is more of the floating quality D-pad, and I can tell you this plays even better than the freaking joystick on the handheld itself. But let's do a quick look in the inside. I've removed every single screw in here, and we can just lift out the back cover. I find that was quite fascinating to see how these things are made. So first of all, and how basic and cheap. There is only one speaker over here, and it just sounds okay. It completely sounds a little, and let's put it this way, if you're going to be maximize volume this thing, it sounds messed up. Oh, wrong screwdriver. So by removing the big PCB here, we can see all the other parts. Only one screw that we need to remove. We can lift this thing out. Oh, everything is attached to this PCB, of course. Oh man, it's going to be in hell putting this thing back together. But everything for you, the Wicked family, to open it up and to showcase, because I know you really love to see what is inside of these things. And yeah, this is just one thin PCB. When it comes to the chip and everything else, nothing really interesting. There is even a tiny foam, like always, for giving this thing the exact height. Micro switch over here, 4 pieces for volume control, select start, and the navigation. Here we're going to have like slightly different, like say, membranes. Normally I had the translucent cheap ones, but they're using way better in my opinion. Here we have some information, the S10P 0702 version 2.0. So this is not the first edition. I don't see any production date whatsoever. But that's it. That's the only thing what we're going to have in the inside. So when it comes to this particular product, oh, we don't need to forget to mention the toilet paper manual that they're giving you is absolutely laughable. It's just basically explanations, giving you an idea like how many players, 2.4 TFT display, 2 languages, and some overall explanation how the device works and some problem solving. The controller, the controller itself, I mentioned before, the D-pad plays very comfortable, but the form factor of this thing makes no sense whatsoever. So the PlayStation 2 controller thing, S10 game console, you can name this thing all kinds of names, but it's quite comfortable. I love it. I love the way how it feels, how it looks, just how it looks. I think it's pretty damn cool in my opinion. But yeah, it's only 8-bit and there are so many of these devices out there. Even after reviewing a couple of years now, they keep making them. Let me know in the comments what do you think of this particular model. Thank you all for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell. It will be great to see you in the next video.